Let me tell you something, as a doctor, and you may not like it, what you do every morning could be slowly killing you. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to scare you for dramatic effect. I'm saying this because in over 10 years of practice, I've seen far too many cases where these exact little things became the beginning of something serious. You're probably thinking right now, come on, what could I possibly be doing? Drinking coffee, checking your phone? Skipping breakfast? Yes, exactly. All of it. But let's go deeper. Imagine this. You wake up and immediately reach for your phone. Your hand still feels heavy from sleep. Your eyes squint against the light, but you're already in. Notifications, news, messages, feeds, other people's lives, other people's problems, other people's success. At that very moment, your brain, still meant to gently transition into the day, gets hit with a surge, a spike of cortisol, stress, comparison, anxiety, and all of that happens before you've even taken your first conscious breath. You think that's harmless? Now imagine doing that every single day for years. This is where something most people never think about begins. Chronic stress doesn't always feel like panic. It can be quiet. Background noise, almost invisible, but it breaks you down from the inside, slowly, methodically, silently. Your heart starts working differently. Blood vessels tighten, blood pressure rises, hormonal balance shifts, your immune system weakens. And all of that from a harmless habit that takes the first 5-10 minutes of your day. But that's just the beginning. Now let's talk about coffee. You probably can't imagine your morning without it. The warmth, the smell, that first sip, it's like a signal. I'm alive. The day has begun. But be honest, do you drink it on an empty stomach? If you do, you're not alone. Millions of people do this every day, and almost no one thinks about the consequences. When you drink coffee right after waking up, especially on an empty stomach, you're essentially pouring acid into a system that hasn't fully woken up yet. The stomach lining gets irritated, acidity rises. Over time, this can lead to gastritis, sometimes even ulcers. But that's not all. Caffeine interferes with your natural cortisol rhythm. In the morning, your cortisol is already high. That's normal. It helps you wake up. But coffee amplifies it, overloading the system. The result? A quick burst of energy, followed by a crash, fatigue, irritability, the urge for another cup, and the cycle repeats. Now add another habit. You skip breakfast. No time. Not hungry. I'll eat later. Sound familiar? But your body doesn't agree with that logic. After a night of sleep, your body is in a mild fasting state. Blood sugar is low. Your brain needs fuel. Your metabolism is waiting for a signal to start. And you don't give it one. Instead, coffee, stress, phone, your body shifts into survival mode. It slows metabolism, starts storing energy for later, increases the risk of overeating later in the day. Blood sugar spikes and crashes. Insulin becomes unstable. This doesn't happen in a day, but over years, it can lead to diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease. And now, let me tell you a story. His name was Alex. He was 42 when he first came to see me. Successful, energetic, always moving, work, family, projects. He was proud of the fact that he never wasted time. His mornings were predictable. Wake up, phone, coffee, car. Breakfast? Sometimes, if I have time. He didn't think it was a problem until one morning he felt a strange pressure in his chest. Not pain. Pressure, like something heavy was sitting on him. He brushed it off as fatigue, drank coffee, went to work. An hour later, it got worse. Weakness, cold sweat, dizziness. He was rushed to the hospital with a heart attack at 42. When we looked deeper, there wasn't a single cause. It was a combination. Years of chronic stress, disrupted routine, poor nutrition, lack of rest. And yes, his morning habits were part of that chain. He survived. He was lucky. But his life changed forever. He told me something I'll never forget. I thought danger would be something big. Turns out it was the small things I repeated every day. That's what I want you to understand. Danger rarely arrives loudly. It doesn't always look like a catastrophe. More often, it's a habit, small, repetitive, almost invisible. You don't notice it because it's become part of who you are, but it's shaping your future. And here's the most dangerous part. Your body stays silent for a long time. It tolerates, adapts, compensates. You can feel mostly fine for years. Maybe some fatigue, irritation, poor sleep, but you blame it on work, weather, age, until one day your body stops coping, and suddenly the symptoms are impossible to ignore. High blood pressure, heart issues, digestive problems, anxiety, chronic fatigue, and you start looking for the cause. But the cause has been there all along, in your mornings, in your first decisions of the day. Let me add something else people rarely think about: dehydration. You wake up after 6 to 8 hours without water. During that time, your body loses fluid through breathing and skin. And the first thing you do is not drink water. It's coffee, or nothing at all. Your blood becomes thicker. Your heart works harder to pump it. Your brain receives less oxygen. Even mild dehydration can reduce focus, worsen mood, and cause headaches. Now imagine that happening every day. It becomes your baseline, but baseline doesn't mean healthy. Now think about this. How do you get out of bed? Quickly? Abruptly? No pause? For most people, that's normal. But in that moment, your blood redistributes rapidly. Blood pressure can briefly drop. You may feel lightheaded. In a healthy body, it corrects quickly. But if there are issues with your heart, blood vessels, or nervous system, this can become a trigger. A small but repeated stress on the body. Again, every single day. Do you see the pattern? It's not one habit. It's the combination. Phone, coffee, no water, no breakfast, sudden movement, rush. Each one alone may seem insignificant, but together they create a daily load your body has to handle every morning. No breaks, no recovery. Now let's come back to you. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, you keep living exactly as you are now. Nothing changes. Same rushed mornings, same stress. In the second, you change just the first 15 minutes of your day. You wake up and don't touch your phone. You drink a glass of water. You give yourself time to rise slowly. You take a few deep breaths, maybe a light stretch, just 15 minutes. No money required, no drastic life overhaul, but the effect, it accumulates. After a week, you feel a bit more energy. After a month, you feel noticeably better. After a year, you're living in a completely different body. And most importantly, you reduce risk, the kind of risk that stays invisible until it doesn't. I'm not asking you to blindly believe me. I'm asking you to try. Because as a doctor, I see the consequences far too often, and prevention not nearly enough. People come when it's already painful, already scary, already late, but you have something they didn't have in time: awareness. You're reading this right now, which means you have a choice. And maybe tomorrow morning, you'll do something differently. And that something might matter far more than you think. Because life rarely changes from one big decision. It changes from small actions repeated every day, especially in the morning. And maybe the most dangerous thing isn't what you're doing. It's believing that it's harmless. So tomorrow, when your alarm goes off, don't rush. Your life won't fall apart if you give yourself 10-15 minutes. But if you don't, those consequences may build up for years, quietly, unnoticed, but inevitably. And if you felt even a slight discomfort reading this, that's good. It means you heard it. And that means you still have time to change it before it's too late.